What are you saying, guys? My name is Banger Boy, also known as Posto Nova. Today, we're gonna be building a special kind of rover today. Today, we're gonna be making a rover called Zephyr. And I don't even know if you've ever heard of it, but like it's a rover that's gonna be launched in like 2039. It's gonna be exciting because of the way it functions. It functions by like using Venus's thick atmosphere to sail across and move around, you know, and it's pretty efficient instead of relying on electricity and solar panels, which it still does. But like, you know how Venus has like thick clouds and like it's hellish. That's one thing I can say, you know. But like, anyways, let's get straight to it, you know. So today I'm gonna be showing you how I actually build things, not just the rover itself, but like just anything that I build in general, you know. So like, if you're to say like I'm more of a studio guy, I don't really like, I mean, I use Blender too at times, but like I only use it when I have to. Like if the meshes start looking crazy, and you know, and then yeah, like then that's when I start using Blender. But as much as possible, I always like to keep that to the last. So alright, let's just get straight to it. So today, let's just go over, like I always do my research when doing such, and I could already see right here the dimensions, and I always assume that one stud is 1 foot, and that's really important when I build. So right here, we're gonna be just starting off with like a part. So we put 15 by 2, and then the width is about 18.2. Alright, I'll kind of focus on the base for now. So like, and I'll head to the wing sail soon. And we know that the ground clearance is about 2'11". So like I'm gonna put 2 plus 11 over 12. Boom. I'm gonna start building the body. Probably delete this, and I don't know, you know, I'm just gonna keep it there, just to kind of like keep my dimensions, you know, like, you know what, based on this model, I'm probably just gonna build the wheels first, you know, so I know exactly which proportion should I use. So yeah, we're gonna be starting off with a cylinder. And then we're gonna be, all right, so what is the dimensions? So the diameter is 3'3". I'll put there 3 plus 3 over 12, 325, and we know that's gonna be 325. Boom. And then we know that the width is about 9 inches. So like I'm just gonna put there 9 over 12. So yeah, we got the dimensions, and once we did that, we're just gonna kind of focus on designing the whole thing, you know. So I'm on a new place, and it's using the 2022 materials, but like my game, like, because I'm gonna be putting this in my game soon. So in the game that I'm working on, it doesn't use the 2022 materials, so I'm just gonna go and switch back to the normal ones and then kind of go from there, right? So like, yeah, so like what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start kind of working on a bit of CSG, you know, and now we're gonna start making the ridges. Kind of do this for a bit. Actually, hold up, I think I could probably use like a more rounder mesh than this, because I feel like when I CSG this whole thing, I just don't like how the wheels are kind of like bumpy, and you know, I'm gonna be going on meshes. So yeah, there's probably like a good amount of them. All right, this looks good. Hollow worst cylinder, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna be putting on the dimensions that I do. All right, so I'm gonna be, what I'm gonna do in that case, I'm just gonna probably move this mesh over here. All right, so, and I'm just gonna set this whole thing aside. Boom, boom. Adding a little bit of the ridges, you know. What's gonna look good? I'm gonna use a cylinder again. Do a bit of this. There's no way I can uniformly like scale a sphere by itself, so I'm just gonna use a special mesh. Now we got it. All right, so I'm gonna be making the spokes. Of course, I feel like obviously I'm gonna go CSG this whole thing. All right, so let's just go by increments of 15. So let's call this spoke. Boom, 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 boom. We got a nice looking wheel here. We can start like laying all this out. Call this wheel. We're gonna start putting this on the actual box. All right, this is actually a better image right here, so I can literally make changes on the wheels. So let's go back and actually make it a little more better, you know. Just move this out here for a bit so I can, yep. All right, so we can finally see what's going on in the middle. So in that case, actually we're gonna use a ring mesh for the axle. So you know what, I can go for this. Yep. Oh, we gotta make the axle. We're gonna take a primitive, boom. We're gonna set the position. to where we want it. Boom. The wheels are looking pretty nice, looks pretty clean. So now we're gonna start making the body. Actually, hold up, we're gonna put the wheel in front. Like, I totally forgot to put the wheel in front. So just copy this. All right, so I'm just gonna copy down the X. I'm gonna paste it in. Now I'm just gonna move this on the front. All right, let's just fine tune this. All right. Before I proceed, I'm gonna move this whole thing up because you never know if I need to revert. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this up at a known increment, and I always go by increments of 5, you know, because yeah, and I always like to move them up in global space. It's my own way of version control, because if I screw up somewhere, I can always bring this back, make sure it's on global space. I kind of move this back to where it came from. So like, yeah, like that's what I like to do. So that's one of my techniques to make sure I don't lose things right out the bat, you know. So we can now start making the frame. So first of all, we're gonna actually make this a little bit more thinner. I'm literally like speed building at this point, you know. And yep, I feel like true enough, this is why I need to put all these models like on some axis, you know, and keep it there until I need it, because you never know if you need it. And true enough, I actually need to kind of make the frame, or actually, hold up. I'm just gonna make this a little transparent so I can actually, not screw it. I'm just gonna do the same thing as last time. I'm just gonna move this down, move this down, move this down, move it down, you know, and boom, boom, and boom. All right, so we're gonna be doing a bit of CSG. I'm gonna actually use again the model that I put up top, you know, because yeah, this is why I love putting models on the same axis. It literally comes in clutch. I don't know if you guys do the same thing, but like that's just my way of doing a bit of version control. It comes in clutch, you know. All right, now we got the whole CSG model. So now I'm just gonna union this. I'm gonna negate. I'm gonna. I hate it when I see. Honestly, yo, I hate it when CSG ends up making like a little thin mesh in the way, you know, because it just gets in the way, and hate it when that happens. All right, that is actually way better. That is way better. We're just gonna union this. Boom. Now we got a nice looking frame. Yeesh. We're just gonna connect one of these frames together. So alright, so we're finally done the frame, and I think the next thing that we're gonna be doing is working on the suspension system, because honestly it looks pretty complicated, and I don't want to leave the complicated stuff to the last, you know. I just want to get it over and done with, so let's just kind of like eyeball it and see what's up, you know. Alright, so now we're done the steering mechanism, and like from what I heard, this rover doesn't even rely on any power except the atmosphere, so like I'm not gonna do anything crazy with the mechanism, you know. I'm not gonna put like engines or anything, you know. And also for this part, I don't even know what's in here because I'm only working with like 2 images at this point. Because alright, so for this part, I'm probably just gonna make this up. So what should I make this up as? This kind of moves back and the other side kind of moves forward so that this can steer. I don't know, what should I put? All right, so I'm gonna do that later, so that in that case I'm just gonna go and make one of the solar panels and make the sail so I can get this whole rover done as soon as I could, you know, and I can start figuring out what I can do at the bottom, you know. So I'm just gonna go make the solar panels, and of course I'm gonna change the materials. Let's make it navy blue. I'm gonna set the material to smooth plastic because you want that thing shiny. And alright, in that case I'm probably just gonna use a lot of cylinders, and I'm just gonna stack them all up and probably export as a mesh and re-import it back into the engine so that I can get this whole thing optimized, because honestly I hate unions. They can get easily corrupt. And if you're trying to reduce part count, always export as a mesh and re-import them as a mesh. So now we got a bit of the solar panels in place, so I just gotta trim this off and it looks pretty clean, you know. Alright, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna go take this piece and it's gonna hold it up here, and I'll take the other piece. I'm gonna union this and I'll scale this up, and then once I'm done that, I'm gonna negate this and I'm gonna union this. Alright, why do we have these thin slices again? One of these guys again. Alright, but anyways, hopefully that should fix the issue. Negate. That's actually way better. Let's go. Boom. I'm gonna resize this, so I'm gonna just cover. Alright. Boom. And union these two parts again. Boom. We got a nice looking frame. I'm gonna scale it up a little bit. I'm gonna negate it. Hopefully, I don't want to be unioning so many cylinders because that's just going to cause way too many problems. I'm going to just take the outer portions of the solar panel and just kind of focusing on unioning these parts instead, so I don't have to cause any like issues with unions getting corrupt or what have you, you know. So all right, let's hit the time lapse again, you know. So this should do it. So hopefully when I union this, it's supposed to look pretty clean. Alright, I don't. Okay, no. We got a bit of excess meshes right here, so I'm gonna just go fix that real quick. So now this looks way better. We can bring this back and see how this solar panel is gonna look like, you know. So alright, now this looks pretty nice. Oh, we gotta make the little box in between. I'm gonna put the sail as well, so probably do the same thing as before, and then this should be it for the whole rover. And the only thing I have to do now is I'll make it come to life by basically just coding. I'll be coding all day. I mean, at this point, you know, like I'm just simply judging distances based on the picture, you know, and I swear a lot of you guys have done that before, but like over time, you know, you just get better at doing so, you know. All we're doing is we're just going back and forth, you know. So now we finally finished the lower part of the rover. The only thing we gotta focus on is the sail, and after that we finished pretty much the rover. All we have to do now is script it, and you know what goes from there. We finally got the whole rover complete. So how long did I build? So I started around 1 and right now it's 3:50 in the morning. So how long? Probably like 2 hours and 46 minutes. Like that's actually crazy. The next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding life to this rover by setting up the constraints. We're going to code it so that it can actually take an input and it's ready to be added to the update. All right, so we're going to begin by decomposing all the moving parts and kind of like putting all the moving parts to where they're supposed to be so that it's easier for me to set up all the constraints. Let's get right into it. Guys, so finally we are done setting up all the constraints, and all we have to do now is play test this thing. It looks like all the constraints seem to be functioning as it should. So now let's test a few angles. That's where we can see if the whole thing is working or not. So we steered 15 degrees to the right, it's shifting this way, and if you test going the other way, it looks like it's functioning as it should. Or I know in real life that this rover doesn't have any engines. Like it uses like Venus's atmosphere to push it around. But for the game itself, I'm gonna be pretty nice and I'm gonna still throw in like an imaginary engine, probably like somewhere around here, because you know there's like a lot of wiring and everything here. On the other side, it's just some wheels attached to it or something, probably like at the back of a cart or something, but it's whatever. I'm gonna assume that this is like a motor and assume that this whole rover is light enough for you to move around. So I'm gonna make this whole thing like front wheel drive, in other words, you know, especially if you guys are into cars, you know. So, and pretty much only this hinge is going to be moving. The back wheels are not going to move. Only this hinge over here and only this hinge on the front, so that you can be able to drive it. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to finally start scripting this whole rover so that it'll be full of life. Finally, we are done scripting this rover. Now let's go test it and see if it's gonna work. Hopefully it does. Who knows? Woo! Now we are in. Alright, so now we're in the game. We're in our little Venus environment. I mean, the actual update is gonna be way better than this. But for the meantime, you can always start off with like a flat surface, you know, to kind of make sure that all the scripts are working, all the constraints are moving as it should. Let's hit W. And we have officially added life to this rover. Welcome to Venus, guys. Alright, I think I might have to fix a bit of the wobbling, because I'll tell you what, because like when you're dealing with like small parts and assuming 1 stutters to 1 foot, then Roblox's physics engine is not really designed to work with small parts as well. Alright, so what I'm gonna do in that case to fix the wobbly effects, I'm gonna go to custom physical properties and I'm gonna crank up the density, I don't know, to some random huge number. Alright, so now let's go test this and see if it's gonna work. Still wobbly. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna increase the mass of all the other parts. Just test this again. Hopefully it's gonna work. Oh yeah, let's go. It's finally oscillating less now, although when I start returning it's beginning to oscillate a little bit, but it's working, finally it's working. Ah yes, let's go. I think I might need to add some dead weight to a few more parts and hopefully it should finally work as it should. Alright, alright, so now let's finally test this out, see if it's gonna work. And oh yeah, let's go. Woo! It is finally working. Let's go. Oh yeah. No more oscillations. So let's test going right. Yep, it's turning. And now let's test going left. And let's test by reversing. Yep, reversing works. Also, if you want to see the whole mechanism, yep, you can see the part kind of like moving the wheel a little bit. I might probably have to increase a bit of the steering angle, but like so far I feel like this is a great start. I can't believe I was able to build this whole Rover up in a matter of 3 hours and kind of like scripting this whole thing within an hour. So it's crazy how I can pull this off in 4 hours. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to join our Discord server. And if you can't join our Discord server, then hop on the Roblox group, because we're almost on 100K. And if you wish to support, feel free to join down below. The link's gonna be in the description below. And I'll catch you in the next devlog.